Ooh, oh, that one's dark. Oh, yep. Pumpkin spice it is. Let's pull this distributor. Okay, it's day 2. I didn't even think much about it, but I noticed after doing some editing on that first part last night that construction is pretty noisy out here. I'm sorry about that, I guess. Not much I can do about it. You guys just have to tough through it if you want to watch me flobble around on this spiel. We just continue on here, I guess. Today, I'm going to pull valve covers because this looks like crap in here. No, there. Is it on there? I can't see what's happening back there. It always seems like it's the nicest. Oh, these are the bolts. I think that was definitely, that's pretty wet. That was leaking down that side back for sure. It doesn't, I mean, it's bad, but it doesn't look any worse under valve covers than it does in the valley here. What's under here? Oh, well, that's interesting. So that side is, so you can see like in the valve cover here, the driver's side is a lot cleaner inside than the passenger side. Same with the rockers and everything down here. This side just caked with oil, baked right on, and this side is clean-ish. I mean, considering chunk of, is that an old valve cover gasket that fell in there? Sure is. So somebody did valve cover gaskets on here at one point. Maybe just on this side. Maybe that's why it's cleaner. Maybe they had a head replaced on this side or something at one point. I don't know, that seems weird. Maybe it just overheated on this side because that rear port is plugged off. Where's the intake? We gotta see. Is it starting to rain now? Yeah, it is. Wow. How do I want to get in here and do this, or I just want to... Okay, pretty much gave myself a hernia pushing a truck up into, well, the front of it into the garage. We're still outside, basically right here, but the front part is up in the garage, so I'm out of the rain mostly. Well, we can continue on with this scraping endeavor. This is not going to be a good time. These are snap-on scrapers. They're not the fancy new what is it, carbide scrapers that everybody uses, but I will say, no matter what scraper you're using or whatever you're doing, always try to keep it flat as possible. If you have it flat, just skim right across everything. If you have it up on the edge a little bit, that's when you groove in and ruin things. Here again, not trying to remove really material, just trying to get rid of any remnants of that gasket left behind or any kind of crud or junk. And also doing this, you can find high spots and low spots. Like you can see this pitting around this port is darker as the low spots, shiny as the high spots. And you're doing it across the flange, you'll see even like sometimes edges get hit by a hammer and they get a raised lip or a burr there. Doing this will make that show up. And then also you can find that raised burr and work it out if you have to. The gasket that was on here was straight across this plug instead of going around it, so the oil is just pouring out the back end of the block here. Don't worry about those little chunks of towel. That just goes right through. That's okay. They got this weird tube in the back here. Yep. There. Oh yeah. There we go. Yep. Yeah. Bought it this way. Working on the lower intake here and poking around. One of the first things I noticed, and I hope you can see, is that these injectors are taller than these. Like this one is taller than this one is taller than these two, and this one is shorter than. So like short, tall, short, tall. Hope you can see that. Looking underneath, the ones that have short bodies are 4-hole. The one that have taller bodies just have that pin coming out. I forget what they call that is. But yeah, so like part of some of these injectors, and on this side you got 4-hole, that pin, 4-hole, and 4-hole. So apparently they put some injectors in it, but not all of them. If these are different or something is wrong here, now's the time for me to change this. Here's that sensor that broke off. I gotta get one of those anyhow, so I gotta wait for that. But I'm gonna pull the injectors and the rails off. We're still gonna clean up the intake and get that on now, and then we can continue on with some other things. But yeah, I'm gonna check about injectors. I'll get a full set of whatever's supposed to be on here. So just clean this up now. You can see they put that orange goop on there. Those work surprisingly well for pushing injectors up. Ooh. O-ring fell off of this one. That 4-hole, that see, has that pin sticking up in the center. I don't know what that's called offhand. Yeah, I don't know. This is a 4-hole. This is that short one with that pin, and this is a tall body one with that pin. You guys know what I'm doing? There we go. See here again, like the driver's side is cleanish and the passenger side is just filled right up with stuff. Look at that. That's where all that oil was going out right there. Did you see that spot? Because this gasket came across and went straight across this hole instead of coming around it. It is just thick in here. I mean, look at it. Like, I don't know. What do you do? The whole inside of the engine is probably like that. You'll get like every nook and cranny. It's everywhere. It's either from getting hot or not changing oil ever, like ever, or a combination of both. Probably a lot of things. I think this motor's had a neglected life. It's so corroded away, everything is below the surface finish here, or below the surface. I have to make sure and clean this good here in this corner, and give her some gray RVT, RTV, TRT, RVT, RTV. There's that funky pattern I was talking about. I could feel. There. You guys see it? I'm gonna throw this in the parts cleaner and scrub around a little bit, and then I'll be back in like probably an hour. All right, here we go. It's not perfect. I'm not going for perfect. This is a truck. It's a getting around truck for hauling shop stuff. Yeah, I'm not worried about spotless. Okay, let's get this cleaned up and get this intake on. I'm gonna spray something non-flammable down in these lifter pockets, and then I'm gonna use a vacuum to suck that out, because there is like, the stuff is sticky in here. The stuff is sticking to the grease and junk and everything that's in here, so I'm hoping this will break it up and I'll be able to float that dirt and then suck it out with the vacuum, and then like I said, not being non-flammable, it won't blow up. And yeah, it's gonna go down in an oil pan and all that stuff, but we're doing an oil change right away. Just don't forget. That seemed to work really, really well. I'm gonna do that again. I'll just keep cleaning. I didn't push record. I just dumped, this is something off the shelf, 10W30, down in all the lifters on both sides, just so there's oil in them. I wish I had more, but I got these alignment pins. You only got to go a couple of threads in. That's all you need. That one's tight. Put it on this one. Same thing. That'll help you drop your intake and gaskets and stuff on. So, very RVT just a little bit on the finger. A little bit around these rear water parts. You don't want a water part leaking. Okay, so the water jackets are all circled. Dab all these corners. And gasket. Doesn't matter which side? I don't think so. Alright, now I gotta run RVT across front and back here. This is a smaller tube. I got a second tube here. We'll start with the, well, that should be enough for that back one, maybe, yeah? No? Big fat one on the front there. No, heavy intake. You guys are in the way. A little bit around every water port and flop this on. Line up that bolt and that bolt. That's it. Oh, these are long. I wonder if that's supposed to be a longer one in the middle there. Just going till they touch-ish. Like maybe a little over finger tight. Just go around and around. See it oozing out right there? You know that's a good seal across the front. I was curious about this one in the back. It goes, yeah, definitely sealed up. I can see it oozing. It's way better than those gaskets you put in there. You never know if those gaskets are going to be in the right spot. Crisscross applesauce. Now we're putting like, what would that be? 8 to 10 foot-pounds on it. Click, click. Click, click. Click, click. Click, click. Click, click. She good, I think. Yeah, that's right. Yep, torqued. All right, now we wait, because I gotta get, oh, hopefully I can screw on that ton of a diddly. Well, yeah, I gotta get a sensor coming and injectors. Oh, thermostat, new one. Yeah, I can put valve covers on. Yeah, let's do that. We got these. I actually am impressed. Felt-pulled gaskets. And they got a metal washer, a little spacer ring. So you just tighten up the valve cover till you feel it hits that ring and holds a space, or holds a tolerance. It's interesting. Hopefully they work. I don't know. I usually coat those and do all kinds of stuff, but we're gonna see how that goes. Just dry. Let's see how this goes. Just getting all the bolts. Make sure they go through the hole of the gasket. Get all of them just started before you just cranking them down. See how that solvent's drying up, that solvent bath is. It's not looking too bad. Oh yeah, the other thing I should get, PCV, positive crankcase vent, yeah, PCV. I should get a new one. We're here, Mazel. That's more of that Derek stuff coming through. I'm sorry. Other valve covers, this one cleaned up pretty well. A couple of things on top there, but looks nice. Just like that. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta use the stud for those grounds in that rear bolt. Oh, remember now. Alright. Now I can fire all those down. I'm just gonna crank on these until I feel that come up against that metal. Right there, actually. Yeah. It's fairly obvious when you come up against that metal sleeve. Valve covers installed. We'll just lay that on there for now. Yeah. Alright, there's that for tonight. Good enough. It's time for stuff. I didn't get a whole lot done, but at least we're going the other direction now. Yangling, yangling, ying, ying, ying. And we're back. It's days later. A week maybe. I don't know if you can see off here. I put a mocked up the power steering and coil, just a couple of parts, putting them back on. Next thing is the alternator mount I got to do here, and I'm not going to do that big heavy cast thing that they had on there before. I'm just going to do the alternator, do a small little bracket to the water pump somewhere here, and their stuff. So we got to figure out, get the alternator here, where that's gonna sit. I think years back, Ford on the 302 just used a straight bolt right out of the front of this head to go through here. So I think we're gonna try that. Just go with the main bolt right into the head right there, and then we got to line up inside pulley here with middle pulley here, this back and this middle one. So let me find a rod, and I think this should fit in there. Yep. Oh, that fits really nice. Look at that, hardly moves at all. Sitting in that hole. I don't know what, a 3/8 rod. Stick that to the alternator, a little bit looser on the alternator. Stick that rod in there, and the alternator can hang, and you can slide this back and forth and figure out exactly where you need it. Or I like to use a straight edge for lining up pulleys, and make sure it's straight. And I typically put it, hopefully you guys can see this, I put it on the back side. Well, here's the front, so like you put it like on the face of the pulley, not down in the groove, because the groove, it's not accurate. You want it flat against that face, so then when you line up the next pulley, whatever you're trying to line up, you can line up the face of that pulley or the back side, like right there. So then the outside of this alternator pulley isn't in line with the outside of the crank pulley. So theoretically, the V, if these sheaves are the same size, that V should be lined up and that belt should sit on there nice and straight. Right? Yeah. But yeah, we're going to the middle pulley and the back pulley on the alternator to save on that bearing in there. So I would put it on the back side of this pulley You can see we're hitting the fan right there, so we got to back the alternator up till that clears that fan right about there. So like we'd be at the back side of this rear sheave on the pulley right there, lined up pretty good. Now we take a measuring device. Where's the measuring device? Hey, you use what you got. All right, so we measure from the face of the head to the back of this alternator mount here, and we get exactly 2.5 inches. 2.5 from the face of the head to the back of this pulley. So I gotta make a spacer for that really quick on the lathe, and I'll be back. We'll throw that in. There. That was quick, huh? What was that nice? There's a spacer, 2.5 inches, just, well, I don't know, I think this is 1 inch aluminum, and I just drilled a hole same as the size as the alternator hole. So stick this in here like that, and we stick that back in and we push that tight against that head, and hopefully this lines up. Oh yeah, perfect, right where we want it. Oh, here comes my daughter. Dad, can I borrow $20, please? I need gas. Okay. So I gotta figure out, I gotta mark here how long this shaft is bottomed out in that hole, that threaded hole in the head. And I got the alternator and spacer, everything pushed back as far as it'll go. You make a mark right here in this rod. And then when you pull that out, you know how long your bolt has got to be for that. You can't rely on just that bolt sticking out of the head that far to hold this alternator up. Even with, I already looked at this. This actually still lines up the bolt that initially it was on. This bolt that it was on is actually, it passes through the timing chain cover and then into the block, and it's one of the 2 bolts on each side that are around the water jacket. They had this adjustable, this is the slotted bracket for adjusting the tension of the belt for the alternator, and usually this moves a little bit, so you like have to loosen this up or tighten it down after you make the adjustment, and that's not a bolt that you want to be loosening up and tightening down constantly, because it passes through it's next to the water and the gaskets. You play with that enough and it's gonna leak. All right, what I'm proposing to do here is take the bolt that came out of that water pump timing belt pulley timing chain cover and all that, take this little bolt, just weld it head to head to the back like that. Let's see. Oh, I think it's actually bottoming out. Yeah, it was bottoming out. Yeah, it slips on there good. Good grip. All the way up. Yeah. That'll twerk. See, I'm gonna do some brake cleaner, blow out that hole, and do some Loctite on this bolt. Just so when you're loosening this and adjusting this nut out here for the alternator adjustment, there's less chance of loosening this whole bolt. Oh, the short one's a whiny bitch. We'll go for just a dab of blue. That'll. Just a dab will do ya. That's all you need is a drop. Over tight. There, did you hear it click? If you're painting your parts while they're still hot, it almost dries instantly. One of the reasons I'm doing this instead of putting the rest of the motor together is I'm waiting on injectors. And they don't give those away. So how long is this gonna be? That gonna be, oh yeah, and it's gotta make a bend. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, you just, what? Oh yeah, nah, I think that's right there. Yeah, there's when I gotta drill holes. If you can't tell, this is all quick and dirty. I mean, if this was for a car or vehicle I cared about, I would do this obviously on the plasma cutter and make these corners all nice and round and everything super great. But yeah, we're not too worried. So Loctite or not? I don't think so. This bracket doesn't get moved because it's going to be triangulated, so it's just going to sit. I don't think we got to Loctite this one at all. And this is a huge bracket for this AC pump. Look at this. And it shares this bolt. Got the power steering. Goes through that hole. And then, oh! Quick line. And that goes in, and the AC bolts the bracket to back here, and then this bracket bolts up here. And I feel like this is a little bit overkill for hanging an AC pump. Now you guys can't see under here, but yeah, just a bracket tray from there to there, just to triangulate this bracket so it doesn't that. See? Oh yeah. Oh, that's gonna be nice. Look at that nice radius. Oh yeah. Fabricator. She ain't even got no hair around it. Inappropriate. Hole, bend, radius, cut. Should be able to put a bolt in here now. Oh yeah. Does that line up? Oh yeah. Turn your wire feed all the way down and purge the line gas. Few seconds, fill up that line with gas, get the oxygen impurities out of the air. Turn your wire feed back up. Make sure all your safety precautions are in check. Brake clean, beer, batteries connected. And go. Tack here. Oh yeah. There, that's gonna be the bracket. Alternator, lower water pump bolt. Water pump to the timing cover, not the one to the block, and then that upper bolt that goes over the top of the AC bracket, which ironically was spaced perfectly there. So that should triangulate it good enough just to help brace up the outside of this alternator, and we'll be done with the alternator mount here. Welded. Wait, are you guys recording? It's getting dark out here. And while it's still hot, now's the time to give it a shot. Not too hot where, it starts on fire. Just enough where it burns off and gives you cancer. So there, you get this belt out of the way. There's the alternator bracket that we got cobbled up in here. Yeah, upper bracket, just some bars, or even, and a lower bracket, which you hardly see. There you go. That'll work for that. Okay, finally we're back on the shop truck. The big weight was injectors. They are not cheap at all. I got a bunch of injectors in. I made a video, last video. Well, I think this will be the last video. Of going through, well, not totally going through, but getting these injectors, testing a bunch of them, and then off video I clean these. Well, maybe I can throw a clip in. I change O-rings and pinto caps on, well, most of these injectors. The ones I got are in really, really decent condition. They look like they've been rebuilt. So we're just going to put those straight in. There's 4 of those and 4 that I cleaned and rebuilt. So you see the ones I did have the blue pinto caps, and the ones I ordered and got, I only got 4 because I didn't need a bunch. We're just replacing those injectors that were in the truck that had pinto nozzles or whatever they call them. These are all 4-hole, 19-pound Bosch injectors. Cleaned, ran, inspected, and balanced, the whole spiel. So yeah, go check that video out, and then come back here and we're gonna get back on the shop truck. That's right, yeah. Back on shop truck. For you. Oh, there's my ruler. Dang it. We got like, since this truck has been sitting here, we got like a foot of rain. Brake cleaner, belts, oh yeah. That's what we did last. We did this alternator bracket. I remember, it's coming back to me now. It's been like a month since we started this 2-day project. I still didn't pick up this bolt for the alternator and that new bracket we made. But, yeah, that's mine. Getting back at this top end up here. Well, that's all clean, ready to go. I picked up the new knock sensor, put that in because somebody broke that off. Probably when they're pulling this manifold out and prying on something. And, I don't know where we were. I don't know where this like oil came from on top of the intake here already. Where would that come from? We got injectors. I think I'm going to be putting these ones I got off of eBay on the passenger side because you cannot get to those when the intake is on. And one reason being is I reuse these pintle caps off of the set of eBay injectors I got. So pulling them off and then sticking them back on, they're not as tight as you would like them to be. They're not coming off by no means, but they aren't like, you can't, like these you can't even spin them. They go on and they are snug. These, if you crank on them, you can spin them. So these are all going to go on the driver's side. If we have problems for whatever reason, it's easier to get these out than these out. A little bit of oil. I just like to get that injector bore in all these. In the intake, the bung or seat or the whatever you want to call it, where the injectors go in. Get them all a little moist. And I kind of rock them around as you're like putting just very, very slight inward pressure on them, and let that O-ring kind of like fall in to that bore instead of just cranking them in there. Sometimes that O-ring can roll over I guess I can show you. Sometimes that O-ring can like roll over this edge and get like sheared off basically, and then you got a leak. So when you work them in like that, slowly pushing them down, you're actually like helping that O-ring like walk into the bore. At least that's what I do. You guys do you. I'll do it wrong. Same thing for the fuel rail. Hopefully these just slip right on here. That's how I went in. And that seems so. There. That side's in. Nice. Well, actually, I wanted to show you guys this since I just looked at it. Hopefully you guys can see without this zoomed in. Look, there's plastic coming off of the teeth on a bunch of the teeth. Look at this tooth is actually like almost smashed off. It's like most of the tip is broke off of that one. That one too. So I mean, this chain was so, I mean, that timing chain set, or that timing chain right here especially, basically 4 teeth in a row here broke off. And I was showing you that chain was actually like, you're able to pick it up and put it on top of these teeth. It was so close to being a bad day. Temperature dropped a little bit too. Well, that was another reason I have to get this done like now. Winter's coming. We had our first snow flurries last night. Crazy how fast that time goes. Summer is just gone. Ford's fuel rails are actually, the hole is slotted. So just before you tighten these down, make sure they are pushed down and in there good. I should push a pan underneath it and pull the drain plug just before I forget that I need to change the oil. That would be good. 7/8. And hopefully all the cleaner comes out first. Should be on the bottom of the pan. Yeah, you see the thin watery stuff? That should be the cleaner. And then the oil, hopefully when that comes down, it washes that out of the pan. Yep, no oil already. Pretty dark. And we are going to let this just sit here and drip and drip and drip while we are gone getting... Oh, I just dropped this bolt in the pan. Where is it? All right, we got the oil draining, dripping. Let it just run. Of course, the one thing they didn't have was a PCV, so we're going to put the old one back in. One last thing before we put this intake on. We got to find the path for the vacuum lines that used to go to the things that aren't there anymore, and see where they all go and see where the source of its vacuum is, and you can plug it off at the source. This is that bolt hole with that Torx drive. You can see when this is down in here, you have limited room both this way and this slot. Like, there is no room in that slot whatsoever. Is that a 1/2 inch? Any kind of Torx bit doesn't fit through that slot. But also, you can see, maybe, trying to get it in there. It hits. Well, they got extra like casting here too. I don't know, that you cut that out of there, you'd get some more room as well. But we're gonna look at something here. Well, this one just happens to be, this is a T40, I guess, drive. This shank just happens to be a 5/16. So we have a 5/16 just socket on a 1/4 inch drive. It's much thinner, so that should, yeah, see, that fairly fits through there. So from the top side here, we can get down and drive this bolt. And when we're done, we can pull that out. This is not magnetic, this just falls in here. So I'm gonna put a piece of like paper in between here, just so it holds it in there. This one is pretty tight already, so it's not gonna take much. Hold it in there. Oh, a little bit more than that. That was just one sheet that went in. The other one tore on the other side. There, okay, that'll hold it in there. Right. It's hard to get this bolt in here, so I'm gonna put this in here and leave it in now. I'm gonna put the intake in with this bolt sitting in here. One alignment stud on the front here if I can. That would sure help if it worked. I'll see why. Yeah, it's gonna twerk. Right there somewhere. Get that one just finger tight so you can get all of them started. Get them all started and ran down just so they're touching. That 1/4 inch drive, I did an adapter to 3/8. Let's get that down in there. Okay, so now I got all 6 bolts turned down until like just till they make contact. So now, well, this is what I do. I move this intake around. You see how much that moves around, and try to find like the center of that motion. Like, just so like all those bolt holes are all just centered as best as you can. That's what I do. Gives me that false hope that all those ports are lined up as best as they can be. Just snugging them all up first. Get that one weird one. Ooh, what happened there? Oh, I think it popped up out of there. Oh yeah. This Torx head is it's very worn. The ends of this Torx have been rounded off, and then I ground it flat again and round it off and ground flat. It's a, what is it? It's a Snap-on or something. Snap-on or Mac? Maybe Snap-on. So I don't want to give it up, but it's like right there at the end where it wants to just pop off all the time now. Feels like 20 to me, 20, 23. That's what my body's telling me. So they had zip ties holding this all together before because all that plastic is broke. So I'm probably going to do the same thing. I ended up going with a 195 thermostat. There was a 180 in here. I think they were battling overheating issues. Just maybe. Oh, there. Not too tight. That's just a little ear sticking off of there. I mean, it's just basically holding a hose on. Okay, we got top dead center. Nope. Right there's top dead center. Top dead would, or number one would be like there somewhere. That's gonna want to go that way. I don't know, we're gonna see. Oh yeah. How close is that? Where's the cap? Like that. Number one is basically straight back. Let me get this over one more tooth. Yeah. That looks like number one locations. Try to get down here, get the lock in. Wow, oh, my fingers don't bend that way. Oh, I put number one on the wrong number one. It's supposed to be on that number one. Not for me. And these all have dielectric grease and everything in them already. This might as well do this side, right? Oh, I gotta put radiator back in and that fitting. Holy crap, there's a lot to do. Where am I at right now? Could I actually just start it right now? Could I? I think I could. Where's the last? There should be another line. Thing's telling me there's another line somewhere. Oh, right here. Right in front of your face again. I think I can start it. No. Holy crap. You gotta put the oil in. You're extra dumb today. Got a rebranded Wix filter here. Now, just get it in there. What do we got? Found some of this in the garage. Yes, I put the plug in. Remember when your dad always told you get every drop of oil out of that container? That'll be enough to get it started up. Let's just see if it starts for now. Yeah, I think we're good. Are we good? What am I forgetting? You guys are all just sitting there watching me. I don't know. I'm gonna cycle the key a couple of times to fill the fuel rail. And I might take a peek, see if there's any leaks. And then we'll, I don't know, maybe see if it starts. And no leaks that I can see down here. There could be some in the back, but I can just see there and I don't see no leaks. So let's crank it and see. Oh, too much timing. So it goes around. Which way does it go? Okay, try again. I mean, I'm not forgetting anything here, am I? Obvious. Coil's plugged in and stuff, and I mean, it's popping on one or two. Something not doing what something's supposed to be doing around here. Good thing it didn't start, and I forgot all about these transmission lines going to the radiator. Oh, I would have just been pouring oil all over. Which side first? This side? Oh, okay. Oh, one big one has an orange stripe on it. If memory served me right, these just go both of them back to battery, don't they? I thought they both had their own circuit, but they were back to the battery, like they both went back to the battery. Both of them have fusible links in them, so if one goes out, you still got the other one. That's what I thought. So 12.3, 12.3. So yeah, they're both back to the battery. I think I'm gonna go weld the bolt together quick. So this is gonna be our bolt. I just gotta weld the extension in the middle here. Be right back. Here's our bolt. Our extension welded in the middle. It'll work for now. Where's that spacer? Let me go through this bracket. And then alternator, shoot alternator into the head, and tighten it down. Oh yeah, that'll be nice. Let's drop that radiator in and get this fan mounted up. Yeah, you guys gotta move because you're right in the way for the radiator. So get on out of here. Get it on! Oh, I got it on backwards. What? How's it backwards? I always want the writing facing me. No other reason, but just how I like it. Okay, oh yeah, fits. Fit? Uh-oh. Something not fitting. There, fitting. Not fitting. 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 Oh, that little mount is that's pretty weird. Get your home. There you go. No, too far. Transmission lines are tight, so I should be able to try starting it again. Or no, we'll pretend this is the first time we're trying to start it. I don't have the holes hooked up yet, but that's gives me more room for the distributor right now. Something's really off. I kind of got a feeling. I wonder if I'm 180 out. I could be 180 out. Yeah, that's what's going on. Dang it. Lift the distributor up. Rotate. Spiel. Shut it right back down. And now it's pointing that way. Alright. Distributor 180. First start. Well, I don't know. Maybe less timing. Maybe it doesn't have enough timing. Somebody tell me what is going on here. Oh yeah. Oh, I see. Somebody put the wires in a loom weird. Okay, so 3 and 4. Am I wrong? Now, is that the whole problem or is that just one of the problems? I don't even know what goes on anymore. Is it because I'm dyslexic or is it because of... Oh my gosh, I'm just stupid today. Again, I feel like I'm stupid every day. going on. We might be right. Just gotta do stuff. For now, I'm just gonna snug up the distributor. So we are really close to where it should be. It's just we gotta get fluid in it and warm it up. Make sure the petcock is closed. Oh yeah, see. Yeah, a little turn left in her yet. I don't want to shake up this bucket any more than I have to. Everything is settled in it. I think we're gonna leave that. That looks pretty rough in the bottom there. The only thing I got is pressed stone pure, so this side looks good. Yep, nice and dry. All right, there we go. I think this is gonna be another long video. I don't know. It seems like I have like 100 hours of stuff recorded time. What happened? I don't even know. I don't know if I recorded that or not. I turned the distributor 180 degrees. Well, you know, yeah, 180 degrees and set it back in, and then it started. It ran funny for a while. I think just clearing stuff out, and then the ECU was confused and whatnot, but yeah, it's going good now. Seems like just filled it up with the press stone. Got it up to operating temperature. Like I said, this is a 195 thermostat. It seems to be running really well on it. It's not overheating yet. Seems to run really well. I think it's going to be okay. I did have one coolant leak down here. I had to drain the coolant and replace that one elbow hose. I used a used one that I had in the container back here, and it happened to have a hole in it, so that one got chucked. And I just bought a new one, put it in. Alternator hooked up, belt is on, it's alternating. Water pump is water pumping. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see any leaks, and stuff seems to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, it runs really well. I'm happy. Oh, when I was doing the timing was not jumping around at all now, so that's good. Seems to be running a lot smoother too. It's not jumping around. Well, before with that bad chain, the timing was jumping around like 10 degrees, so yeah, it's gonna make it run funny. Super smooth now. Only thing left to do is take it for a ride and see what we see. They sprayed salt brine on bridges and on ramps, off ramps, so that's officially winter. Once the salt brine is on the roads, you don't dry stuff anymore. You just take out your winter beater and that's all you use. Yeah, I'm gonna go take this for a ride quick and be right back. You guys can stay here, I think. Oh, the heat is working. Oh, it's nice and toasty. Yeah, temperature is normal. Oil pressure is right in the center, normal. I haven't driven this in months. How do I do this?